Hey Dazzlers, welcome back to my channel. So I've been wanting to change out these really pretty wall art pieces that I picked up from Burlington last year. I believe they were a little under $30, really nice, but I wanted something that was a bit more bright and that would do more to open up the space. In today's video, I show you how I use resin for the very first time to make my own unique wall art. Interested? Then just keep watching. I'm starting off with this 24 by 24 inch canvas that I picked up from Michael's. Here I've added painter's tape to prevent my resin from dripping over the sides of my canvas. I'm also elevating my canvas with these small red plastic cups. Here I'm using hot glue to create barriers onto my canvas so that my crushed glass will stay in the areas where I want it. To add my first pop of color, I'm painting the center line with this gold paint that I picked up from Michael's. Once I placed down my crushed glass, it was then time to mix my resin. I'm using this art resin from Hobby Lobby. It was $49. I was very disappointed that you cannot use a coupon for this item. This was by far the most expensive item for this project. I poured 8 ounces of the resin and 8 ounces of the hardener into a measuring cup, and I stirred it for about 4 minutes. I then poured my resin into 4 plastic cups. Next, I mixed in my paint. I only needed a very small amount of paint. I'm only using pearl white, champagne gold, and metallic gold for my project. For my metallic gold, I'm using this tester's paint that I picked up from Michael's for under $2. This paint reminds me of liquid gold spray paint. It was then time to start pouring my resin. I'm starting off by drizzling some of my clear resin over my crushed glass. Next, I started pouring my colors. I immediately noticed that while my colors looked rich in the cup, when I poured them, they were very transparent, and this definitely caused me some concern. However, I continued adding my colors, alternating between the different golds and my pearl white. I decided to also add this wicker white. I simply added a few drops of this to my cup with my white pearl paint, and I added a bit more of the resin. At this point, I had poured all of the resin, so I began tilting the canvas and using my heating tool to spread the resin across the canvas. This process was a bit challenging because technically I did not use enough resin. For this size canvas, I needed about 20 ounces, but I only poured down 16. This was because I wanted to make two canvases with that same 32-ounce kit. It was already so expensive, and you guys know I hate using expensive materials, so I split the kit in half and I made it work with the 16 ounces. I also noticed that my two gold colors looked very similar on the canvas, so I poured down a few drops of the Tessla's metallic gold paint directly onto the canvas, as well as some of the Tessla's paint in the color cream. At this point, it looked like I just had one big mess on my hands, but I continued tilting my canvas and using my heating tool until my resin began to level and my design began to come to life. Next, to give my art more dimension, I added more of the crushed glass on top of the resin. I also added other materials that I already had at home, such as glass glitter. I added some small crystal beads, some extra fine glitter, anything that I could get my hands on that I thought would enhance the overall look of my project. In some cases, I slightly reheated some of the resin before placing down additional crushed glass. I worked very quickly because I only had about 45 minutes before the resin began to set. When I was done placing down all of my small embellishments, I had something that looked like this. I let my design dry for about 4 hours and then I removed my painter's tape. For my second canvas, I wanted a slightly more abstract design, but I followed the exact same process. The only thing I did different was add a thin coat of the resin to the canvas before pouring my colors. While I was able to create both canvases with only 32 ounces of resin, if I were to do this project again to make things much easier for myself, I would definitely use the amount of resin recommended for a canvas of this size. The following day, I used this 18 karat gold leafing pen that I picked up from Michael's to add very fine gold metallic lines to my wall art. I also used a white paint pen as well. I know that at this point, you can add a top coat of resin to really seal everything in, but I had very little fallout and I thought that my piece was very solid, so I decided to leave it as is. 48 hours later, I hung my beautiful paintings, but I didn't really like them in this space. Instead, I ended up adding these really simple Dollar Tree DIYs that I made several years back, well before I created my channel. I think that these mirrors definitely brightened and opened up the space, which was exactly what I was looking for. And because I created these pieces with accent colors that I used throughout my home, I had no problem finding the perfect place for my new beautiful wall art. I absolutely love how my first resin project turned out. I think it's beautiful, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If so, please like, comment, and share. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and be sure to turn on your notifications so that you don't miss my next video. Remember, I upload new videos every single week. So until next time, guys, bye.